It turns out that ants are apparently more intelligent than human beings in groups. Now, what does this have to do with AI and the future and predictions about AI? Come with me in this video and we'll check this out together. My name is Nicholas Fernholm and I am a public speaker and an expert in helping organizations through the change that new technology creates. And today, that is first and foremost AI. And today we're going to be talking about predictions that experts usually do when it comes to AI and why they are wrong so many times and why us as human beings in groups might be more intelligent than the experts themselves.
Seems a little absurd, you gotta admit.
Now, if you remember a couple of years ago when Boston Dynamics was the craze that everyone was talking about, everyone was thinking about their jobs. I myself, as a young, newly minted public speaker, I got a lot of questions about our jobs when it comes to robotics because I have a background with working with robotics. Now, the answers that I had when it came to answering these questions about if we will all become unemployed, what will happen with the world economic structure, my answers were largely dependent on the experts' opinions, right? I listened to and researched a lot when it came to what will happen to our jobs. The answer that I got every single time when I went to see experts and talk to them about this was the same thing. The jobs that are going to disappear are the dirty, dangerous and dull jobs. It was the taxi drivers, the bus drivers, the mechanic, the person who works with manual labor. Those were the jobs that would first and foremost be automated. And this was back in, I want to say 2015, 16, something like that. And they said that within 10 years, possibly half of the jobs or a third of the jobs will be automated by these types of robots. Well, did it happen? No.
Well.
We all, most of us, still have jobs. We are living our lives just as pretty much we did the last decade. But we have some new shiny objects around us. I have robotic vacuum cleaner cleaning our floor downstairs right now. We have some conveniences that we didn't have before, right? But there was no large upset. Now it turns out that all of these experts were completely wrong. And I myself felt quite duped by their arguments. Now, this was about the time that COVID hit, and I started working together with healthcare workers to try to navigate through this very unpredictable environment that we were in. Now, through that experience, I got to get in contact with new models and new ways of thinking when it comes to crisis management, which in its essence is about decision-making when you cannot know what the future holds, right? How do we take a step forward when there is fundamentally unpredictable environments around us? And here we get in contact with the first idea about these ants, right? How can these ants be more intelligent than human beings? Well, it gets to the concept of wisdom of the crowd, right? So if you are ever at a fair and there is a bowl of peanuts, for example, and you need to guess the amount of peanuts in the bowl, the most reliable way to do that is not talking to the expert about peanuts. It's not talking about to one single person, either it's an influencer or an academic person or an expert, and ask them, what is your estimate of the peanuts? That is not the way that you get the best answer. The way that you get the best answer is by taking all of the guesses that everyone has done about the peanuts, all of the worst guesses and the best guesses. So the one who says 1,000,000 peanuts and the person who says 0 peanuts and everything in between there. You take all of those guesses, you put them into a big pool, and then you divide them by the amount of people that guessed. And the answer that you get from that calculation is a lot better than just asking one or two experts or people about how many peanuts they think will be in there. So this is the structure that these ants are following. They are following the wisdom of the crowd, and that means that they are a lot more intelligent than these individual people who are trying to communicate the way that we communicate, right? We do it one person at a time usually. So one person yells out, pull here, push back, do this, do that. And that is a suboptimal way of getting through the wisdom of the crowd. Now, during the COVID crisis, we had structures to find the wisdom of the crowd. We had different organization structures to actually manifest what people actually felt in a group together. And this shows why you should not listen to individual experts about their predictions of how AI will kill us all or take your jobs, because these are most likely the same experts that told you 10 years ago that robots will take your jobs. And this shows you why individual experts are usually very bad indicators of what will actually happen in the future. And this actually is supported by research. A researcher called Philip Tetlock has written a lot of books about predictions and how you create correct predictions about the future. And he wrote a book that is called Expert Political Judgment: How Good Is It and How Can We Know? And in this book, he researches different political experts and asks them a bunch of different questions from different fields about the future of their expertise. So he asks them about who will be nominated judge here, what will happen with this policy decision, and so forth. And these are true experts in their fields. And the research that he did, and it turns out that his research shows that these experts are no better at guessing about the future individually than a baboon throwing a dart. Now, this is only correct when we are talking about speculations about future events that are very complex and are affected by a lot of different factors. So it would be the same thing as asking you, where will Tesla's stock be at in 365 days? Tell me where the stock will be. You would probably make a fairly bad guess, because it is fundamentally an unpredictable question to ask ourselves. Now, there are a lot of historical examples where we have listened to experts about their long-term forecasting, which turns out to be completely wrong, because unpredictable environments usually do not end up the way that we predict, right? That's why it's called an unpredictable environment. Now, a great example where experts were completely wrong about their forecasting was the Great Horse Manure Crisis of 1894. Now, during this time, London had a lot of people coming in from the countryside because in the cities there was work. So when they moved in, they usually brought all of their stuff with them, and that included their horse. So what they saw in the London town was that the amount of horses was exponentially going up because people were moving into the cities, they were bringing their horses, and with the horses came their manure. London was being filled with all of this horse manure, and they didn't know what to do. So they took in a bunch of experts who did calculations of how much the horse manure was increasing over time. And what they saw was that within a couple of years, there will be up to 3 meters of horse manure produced every single year amongst all of London's streets. Now, this became a huge crisis. This led to them having a large conference where they invited all of these academics and all of these experts to actually try to figure out a solution to this problem. Now, I think you yourself know exactly what the solution to this problem became. It was not the experts, who were actually proposing some quite dangerous ideas. For instance, making a quota of how many people could move into London. They were proposing that they would ban people from bringing their horses, which was really one of the only resources that they had when they moved into towns, when they didn't have any work, they didn't have anywhere to stay. That was their only means of transport. They were actually proposing to kill people's horses. Now, the solution to this problem came from technology, right? The solution of the urbanization became technology. So just a couple of years after this crisis kicked off, a new invention came, which we call the automobile. And just within a few couple of years, there was no great horse manure crisis. There was no 3 meters of horse manure along our streets. We had cars, which were driving around people, right? So this was something that was completely unpredictable to the people at that time. Now, what does this have to do with us today? Well, we are facing an unpredictable situation today with technology, with the new thing that is happening, which is AI. And everyone today is extrapolating the current trends into the future and saying that we will have 3 meters of horse manure within 5 years. They're saying that if AI continues along this current trend, it will take all of our jobs and it will kill us too. It's the same thing that we did last time with robotics. They're extrapolating the current trends of Boston Dynamics robots, and they're saying that, oh, these robots will take our jobs within 10 years, but that didn't happen either. So time and time again, these individual experts are wrong, wrong, wrong. And it turns out that the wisdom of the crowd, the ants, are more correct than individual people. So I would say, when you're thinking about the real dangers of AI, because there are real dangers of AI, what I would do is that I would take all of the experts who are saying different things and take a little nugget from all of them. Because if someone is telling you that it will guarantee kill us all, that many academics and experts are saying, do not listen to them, because they are doing the exact same mistake about forecasting that Philip Tetlock was talking about. And that is something that we cannot afford to do today. So I hope that you will start thinking a lot more like an ant and not like an individual expert, and start thinking about the future of AI and how it will really impact us. Because there are a lot of positive aspects of this. There are a lot of implementations that we can do within our own lives that will create a lot of value for us. But we will never find that value if we let fear decide our decision making going forward. So I hope that you like this video. Please comment, like, and subscribe, and I will see you in the next one.